Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're out here at the practice range, and as we continue our pursuit for better golf, I'm going to be going over 5 things that you need to be practicing in order to play better golf, break 90, break 100, break whatever you're trying to do, but continue to get those better scores you're looking for. All right, the first thing I notice that people do that really need to do a better job of is making sure they practice how they play. And I know what you're thinking, right? Well, I'm swinging a golf club, that's how I play, right? That's not it. A lot of people come out here, hit the range, they're chatting with their buddies, or just hanging out by themselves, and they line up balls and they just hit a ball, do that 100 times and go home and say, I got some practice in. But that's not how you'd play golf. At least I hope it's not how you're playing golf. A lot of you need to be doing more of exactly what you do on course. Big thing I like to work on when I'm out here is I work on my pre-shot routine. I come back behind the ball, I'll pick a target, which I'm gonna have to block you out a little bit here. So I'll pick one of the targets right out here, make sure I get my good start line, factoring in things like wind and stuff of that nature. And that way I'm practicing just like I would on the course. I've got a target, I'm aligning like I would. I'm gonna do my pre-shot routine, which involves one little practice swing, nice positive thought of this shot's gonna go great. And then hopefully hit your target. And that's perfect. That's about 5 yards right of where I want it to be. Wind took it a little more. Doing more of this kind of fundamental is going to be better for you on course. This is going to prepare you to go out and actually play the game. If you've struggled a lot with stuff like, oh, well, I seem to hit the ball so well on the range and then I hit the course and it's just everywhere, this is probably a big reason why. Practice your pre-shot routine, practice aim, make sure you're getting dialed in, and you'll play better on course. All right, the second thing I see that people don't do is they're not taking their most challenging clubs out and actually practicing with them. I know a lot of people struggle with long irons, like a 4 or 5 iron. A lot of people struggle with their fairway woods, like a 5 wood or a 3 wood. And yet, for some reason, they go out to the practice range and they either only hit 4 or 5 balls or they'll hit nothing with these. They just try to stick to the clubs that keep them feeling happy and feeling positive. If you want to get better at golf and if you're going to use these during your round, you got to practice on course with them. I personally like to make sure I come out and take, for example, a 5 iron. And this is a club that sometimes I struggle with too. You know, if I'm not feeling perfectly healthy, this won't always go as well as I want it to. And then the same kind of thing, just kind of have a positive mentality behind this. Same thing you do on course where I'm going to line up. I'm going to try to hit a shot that catches the wind, hits the left side of this range, and then goes center fairway. That actually went perfect. And you need to make sure you're coming out and actually practicing with these clubs. If this is what you're struggling with most, this is what you need to be out here doing. Especially if you're going to be, let's say, coming off a tee or on a par 5. You're thinking, hey, I've got 240 into the green, I want to hit 3 wood, but you've hit 5 3 woods in the last month. Is this going to go well? No, you need to do the same thing here. So you can practice getting set up, get that alignment right, and just ripping a nice 3 wood. It may not work right off the bat, but you know, the more you practice, the more you're going to build that confidence. The more you build that confidence, the better it's going to go on course. This is going to be one of your biggest things to help you break 80, 90, 100, whatever you're trying to do. The third thing that you should be practicing when you're out here is going to be half shots and escape shots. I know what you're thinking, right? Like, when do I need to hit a half shot? And if you're thinking, when do I need to hit an escape shot, then you guys need to be on tour, because that means you're hitting every ball in fairway, right? But think about how many times you're out here and you're playing in a real round and you're over the ball and you're like, I'm just going to kill that ball. And you try to, and every time you hit it, it's off the hosel, it's yanked left, it's just all over. It'd be so much easier. You see guys on YouTube, on tour, that just come out and they've got this nice, smooth little process where they just kind of get the arms up to about shoulder height and follow through to about shoulder height. And they'll just hit these beautiful, controlled shots. The wind just ate that, but it's definitely not bad. And that's something that you need to practice out here. I'll come out from pitching wedge all the way up to my 5 iron and practice shots like that, just so I'm comfortable doing that. It'll give you more versatility on the golf course to be able to pull out a club that you're more comfortable with. Especially today, it's about 15-mile-per-hour wind blowing here on a desert course. I know for sure I'm going to have to keep the ball controlled and in line. I don't need to be doing big full swings. I need to keep the ball going the right direction. Now, the other thing is, especially when you're playing courses like I'm at, right? It's a desert course out here in the mountains. Maybe you're playing a course out in the trees. I don't think you're hitting all the fairways. You're going to be in positions where you need to hit recovery shots, not hero shots. And if you're going to practice for recovery shots, you need to actually be in recovery conditions. I hear a lot of people that complain about driving ranges that maybe are a little rough looking. There's a lot of dirt and sand, maybe haven't, recovered the grass as well. And they said, man, it just makes it hard to practice. Realistically, a lot of your shots are going to be in similar conditions. I'll set up several balls and divots and holes in this, and I'll have that exact mentality of maybe I'm off right in the trees, the hole's out that way, so I'm just going to try to punch the ball out this way. And I'll set up for this specifically. What I do is a nice toe down shot, just get a little nice half swing on it. This is something where you don't want a lot of action on it or your feet will slip and slide and you won't make good contact. And I'll hit 20, 30 of these every time I'm out practicing. And that way you're prepared when you're in rounds to be able to recover better from shots. Instead of hitting it off into the trees or the desert, and then you're hitting 2 from there, and before you know it, you're hitting 3, 4, 5, making quadruple bogey, you can get the ball back into a playable area, be able to get the ball up on the green after that, and make a bogey at worst. All right, the fourth thing that you need to be practicing when you're out on the practice range here is going to be chipping and putting. Easy stuff, right? But no, people do this in ways that just don't always make sense to me. When you come out to do chipping and putting, I know a lot of people will set up right about where I'm at now. I'm probably about, 8 to 10 feet off the green, and you're just going to set up and hit a nice conservative shot right at an easy placed hole, and then feel good about the fact that you almost made it. We'll hit one more here just to kind of show what I'm talking about, but they just set up and get these nice, easy, straightforward chips and just hit these real nice tentative shots. That nipped up nice. Wow. And while that's great, that's going to build your confidence and really make you feel like you're chipping real well, but realistically, you're not going to be winding up in spots just like this all throughout your round. You're going to wind up exactly in places like this, whether it be off in the desert or just in rough parts of golf courses. Not every course is perfectly manicured and perfectly maintained, and that's perfectly fine. They're all doing their best. They're all trying to do what they can. Especially out here in the heat in Arizona, it's hard. This is more realistic though. This is nice hard ground. It's gonna be hard to pick this clean. And I'm not gonna go for that straightforward hole in front of me now. I wanna go to that longer hole way back here where it's gonna be tough just to get the distance on it. This is something more that I actually practice every time I come out here, and it really gets me ready for in-round play. That was nice. And putting, like I said, also just as important as chipping here. When I go out and do a full practice, it's usually about 45 minutes to an hour. I'll spend 20 to 25 minutes on the driving range going through my shots, getting some key stuff in, come out to the putting and chipping green, do about 20, 25 minutes. It's important to take time putting though. So many people I see don't even practice putting. They're just like, oh, it's barely hitting a ball. But having your pace set up to the point where you can get to a hole, line up, properly judge the break, and then make the putt is going to be absolutely huge. Would have been nice if I made the putt for that, but that's okay. When you come out and you're practicing putting, I personally will take out 3 balls. I'll put them out at a starting distance of somewhere between 6 to 10 feet, and that way I can get the pace of the greens down. And all I'm looking for is I don't necessarily want to make the putt. I just want to see how fast they are, what kind of pace I need to get it to the hole. And let's say I leave one short, I need to have that in mind of like, all right, I got to get a little more speed. After you do that, start spacing it out. I see a lot of people focused on just short putts or just like putting across the green. You need to be prepared for all sorts of different opportunities here. I'll set up, realistically when you hit the green, I know most of us aren't sitting at 5 to 10 feet. Most of us are closer to this distance, which would be 10 to 20 feet, 20 to 30 feet. And this is more where you're going to need to be practicing. Right here, same concept. I didn't really read the break. Right now I'm just getting the speed down. Needs to be a little harder than that. Judging the break while I'm watching this. And we'll hit another one. That one was way worse. Go in. And just come with me over here. What are the 2 most important parts of putting? Speed, which is what we just practiced. Then we got to work on our alignment and our setup for that. What I do for this one specifically is I'll play this exactly like I would on course. Now for this too, you're not going to get 3 attempts on course. You're going to get 1 attempt. But I personally will set up 3 different balls from 3 different spots. And I'll get a read here. Now what I'm seeing currently is this is going left to right, and it's going to be up the hill. Normally you don't want to walk in your line, but here I do want to walk this out too to solidify what I'm seeing. And that's perfect. As it gets to the hole, it's going to straighten up. Now, depending on how you do this too, I personally don't use the line on the ball. You'll notice I've drawn the lines on there. It's just so when I hit chip shots, I can see if they check up nice. But I personally do more of an aim point process where I have the break set up. To me, I know this is going to be a couple cups out, and I just pick a small target right in front of my ball here that I'm going to be aiming at. And I'll do that for all 3 balls here. And once I have that set up, I'm going to hit all 3 of these. There's one. Oh, you kidding me? That didn't turn. And I'll set up at various holes, uphill putts, downhill putts. Just give yourself the most opportunity to practice exactly as you are. Like I said, if you want to practice by lining up that line on the ball, do exactly that. If you just want to be more of a field player like myself, make sure you're at least taking the time to still read the putt like you would on course. You don't need to do this for long, 10, 15 minutes tops. If you want to do it longer though, one of my fun games to play is I'll set up 3 balls, and I like to do the 4-shot challenge. What that means is I'm going to be taking 3 balls. I want 4 or less to get it into the nearest hole. You can do this from 2 feet away or 20 feet away. It's whatever you feel comfortable doing. But I'll sit here and putt these balls. Now I have to make these next 2. Hammered that one. And see right there, I was one where I didn't get them all. Those would be nice 2 putts, don't get me wrong, but I want to challenge myself to make more long putts. And I'll sit out here sometimes 10, 20, 30 minutes before I finally pull it off, but it's going to make my putting better. If you have a little extra time, it's a great way to do it. If not, just take that 10, 15 minutes to do the other tips I was talking about. Any amount of time you can put into putting is going to help. You use this club more than any club in your bag. A good day putting will take 5, 10 strokes off your round. A bad day putting will add 5, 10 strokes to your round. Keep that in mind as you're playing. All right, and the 5th tip I have is the simplest one of all. When you're out here practicing or you're out there playing, keep a positive mind frame through all this. I see people on this practice range all the time, some of my friends currently included. They're out here hitting bad shots, oh man, throwing clubs, getting upset, instantly starting off with a bad mentality. Bad shots happen. We've all seen it. Tiger Woods has hit a shank or 2. Scotty Scheffler's hit a shank or 2. We're going to hit a few of them for sure. When you're out here practicing or on the golf course, just keep a happy mentality. It's a beautiful day today. The wind's making it so it's not as hot. My lovely wife came out here to help me film these videos. I've got a lot of good things going on. If I hit a few bad shots, it's far from the end of the world. Keep a better mind frame like that, and you're going to play better golf. You'll be amazed at the amount of strokes you can save too if you're not so grumpy and upset. Really hope you've enjoyed this video. These tips, if you try them, will definitely help you shoot a lower score. Like I said, we're either trying to break 100, 90, 80, whatever it may be. This is what I personally have used to get from a 100+ golfer to a low 80s golfer right now. Thanks so much for watching these videos. We've got a lot more exciting things to come. If you haven't already, check out some of my other tip videos that are already posted. We'll try to link them in the video as well. And like and subscribe for more future videos to come. We'll see you next time.